it's just been hard over the summer, but I am looking forward to getting back on schedule so I can talk to you guys a little more. And this particular video, honestly, I have it's just gonna be a ramble of the things I'm enjoying at the moment because I really have nothing planned per se. I just came out the shower and we'll be going to the gym in a little bit. But since the house is currently quiet, I decided to just come on and chit chat with you beautiful people. So, some of the things that I've been really into, I love me some Netflix, Hulu too, but I really love me some Netflix, and there are three shows that I have been watching. I finished 2 episodes that were released about Simone Biles. So good. And it really talks about the last Olympics that she participated in, to where she had to withdraw early due to the twisties, is what they call it in the sports of gymnastics. And that's basically like when you are flipping in the air, you lose your sense of direction. And if you land, it's more likely you will land wrong and can possibly injure yourself or even kill yourself. And she experienced this during the last Olympics. So emotionally, it was a lot on her to have to let her team down and withdraw. And then also she just felt like she was letting down the country. I can only imagine how hard it is, but they pulled together and still came out with a silver as a team. So I am hoping and praying that this year they get the gold medal, because that's my favorite favorite Olympic sports, gymnastics and track and field. Speaking of track and field, the other one that was really good is called Sprint. So all of these that I'm gonna tell you, they're documentaries, and the one that is Sprint really talks, it's mostly centered around the United States track team and the Jamaican track team, the sprinters, but they also bring up Great Britain and is it Italy? It might be Italy. There's another track star from there. So it's talking about them mostly and all that they go through as a team and individually, and how they fared out through their national competitions, the world competitions, and how it's looking for them for the Olympics. What it takes making the team. Sha'Carri Richardson was one of the ones that they focused on a lot, as well as I just went blank. He's currently the fastest man in the world from the USA. What's his name? And he's dating a Jamaican sprinter. Lyles. He's so good though, and I love his. He's very bubbly, very upbeat, very energetic. I think for some it may come off as too much. I think some will read his energy as not being humble, but I think you really have to know his upbringing and his background. And from this documentary, I got to learn that he actually suffered severely from asthma as a child. So doing a sport like this was really something that doctors have already written out the cards for him, history of a track and field rivalry. As far as women, this one, I mean, the U.S. is looking good all around. I think that this might be the first Olympics in a while to where U.S. takes the 100 and the 200 in both men and women. The Jamaicans look good, don't get me wrong. Especially Sharika Jackson, don't get me wrong. But it's gonna be tight. It's because basically in a documentary, you'll have Sharika win one, Sha'Carri win one, Sharika win one, Sha'Carri win one. So it really just depends on how they get out of the gate and just how they run overall. That one is gonna be close. But you know, I'm a household that's divided. So it makes for great entertainment and great screaming in this house when track and field comes on, especially the Olympics. Really excited about that. And the other one that I'm currently watching, now I love football. It was like the first sport I was introduced to when I moved to this country. And my brother played football in high school, and we just love football. But I don't really watch it all the time. I watch when my team plays, Miami Dolphins. And, but generally speaking, I just watch here and there. But the playoffs I'll watch, and the Super Bowl, obviously I'll watch the whole thing through. I can't name the players. Like, that's never been my thing. I can't name the players. But generally speaking, I love the sport of football. I love football. I don't really like to watch baseball. I'll go to a game, but baseball's never really been my thing. I love to go to a live basketball game. I love doing that, but I never watch it on TV. The only time I was really into watching basketball was whenever the Miami Heat were in the playoffs and they were winning. They had a winning streak. This was when Miami Heat had Shaq and had LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. But, you know, but to go to a game is so much fun. But football, that has been my thing, whether it be in person or on the screen. Again, I don't watch a lot of it on the screen, but if I'm to sit down to a game and watch, it's gonna be football. So there is, I have like 1.5 episodes left. There is a documentary on Netflix called Receiver at the moment, and it is another great one. Listen, Netflix has been killing it with their sports documentaries. Very well done, and I like how you get to see the behind the scenes, the what it takes to lead up to the game, and just, you know, how to recover from injury, and just the daily practices and the mental game that goes on in your head as well. It's definitely coming from a different perspective, and I love how we get to have a blip of a moment in it. So in the Receiver, there's a couple of the receivers. I mean, they're amazing at what they do and their personalities, but there's one in particular, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I assume he still plays for the Detroit Lions, but during the filming of this, he plays wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. Amazing. A young kid, young in his 20s, I believe, and just amazing. It's like he knows where the ball is going and pivots his body to get there in time. You know, he these plays that he runs are just out of this world. But what really drew me to him is his family, especially his dad. So I'm gonna paint the picture for you guys. His dad he's biracial. His dad is African American. His mom is German. His dad grew up in Compton and competed as a bodybuilder. And one of his competitions brought him over sometimes he's like, whenever they're done with school or wrapping up school, he would pick them up about an hour early, sign them out, and say, kids, it's a beautiful day today, let's go to the beach. And they would just walk the beach and bond, and that was it. Pull them out because he wanted to have that moment with them, just to bond and walk the beach. So again, the whole sports and athleticism all comes from the dad and ingrained in them at a very young age. One of the sons, so Amon Ra is the youngest son. The either middle or the eldest, I think the middle son, plays for another team as well. So two of them are playing pro, and I think the other one may have been, he's probably not playing anything now, but I know two of them are playing pro. There's a point in time when they play against each other too, so the parents are just like, we're not going for anyone. It was so cute. So the mom, let's talk about the mom. Love her spirit, love her vibe, and she said, I want my kids to speak many languages. And I feel like in America and other English speaking countries, at least a lot other, don't really emphasize learning another language. Yeah, you may go to school, you may learn Spanish for 2 years, as a mandatory, but what do you remember? But I notice a lot in Europe and in Asia, it is highly emphasized that you pick up another language. And I guess that's because too, in those recent regions, they speak multiple languages. In Europe as a whole speaks multiple languages. Asia as well, Japanese, Thai, Mandarin. I mean, you speak multiple languages. Whereas North America, it's mainly just English. In South America, it's mostly Spanish and Portuguese. So sometimes you'll have that where somebody who speaks Portuguese will also know Spanish. But, like I said, other continents, you just speak multiple languages. And so her kids, she said, I'm only going to speak to you in German. Dad only spoke in English. So within the household, the children were speaking both German and English. And because the mother was into just learning languages because that was part of her culture, her kids also grew up speaking French, and I believe there's another one that they can speak conversationally, but English, German, French are the main ones that they speak. So that's just being well-rounded to me. I just think that is superb, and I feel like as a parent, like, man, did I miss a huge gap in this, but my household, we only speak English. I'm sure if I spoke another language, then, one of us would speak English and the other one would speak the other language, but I can appreciate that there are other kids out there still growing up knowing multiple languages, and parents are really trying to keep that part of their culture alive in their household. So, all of that being said, this kid is just, he's amazing, and I say kid because he's so young and he has a baby face, but amazing. There's also George Kittle. He is so funny. He plays for the 49ers. If you see like his high school photos, oh my gosh, this kid looks so puny. He looks so tiny and skinny, and I couldn't really tell his height. He didn't really look like he was gonna be that tall. He looked like he was gonna be average tall. Oh no, absolutely not. This guy is a beast. He is tall and he is muscular, and he is hilarious. also show his family on there. Amazing family. Again, with his dad. His dad used to write him letters while he was in college because his dad, I believe he may have been a football coach for another school, and he could just never really come to the games sometimes. So he has this thing where he would write him letters about, go get them today, do this, do that, know I'm with you, etc., etc. And when George Kittle went pro, he asked his dad to continue the letters because it helps him. And they see each other all the time now, but it still helps him to read those letters. His dad is a very positive person. His family, his mom, and his grandmother, apparently last year or 2 years ago, I'm thinking about when this was filmed, she turned 100 at the very day that they were playing a very big game at home. George Kittle told one of his teammates, so they waved to her in the stands, and I believe that teammate was able to tell somebody, to which they were able to announce it to everyone in the stadium that his grandmother was there celebrating her 100th birthday, and the whole stadium sang happy birthday. So even George Kittle didn't know they were going to do that, so that was extra special for them. And she has been to many games since then, but this guy, his personality is just, it is very attractive and welcoming, and I feel like I would just feel so loved being around him. He really seems like a solid, good guy. So honestly, overall, like, these shows have been my thing on Netflix. I have been watching probably for the past 3 weeks. I'm almost done with Receiver. I think I have like 1.5 episodes left, and I don't know what I'm gonna watch after that. Though, and this is not a documentary, but I heard Supercell is really good on Netflix too. So maybe that'd be the next thing. But then I'm gonna be all into the Olympics because the Olympics starts this coming weekend. So excited. I love the Olympics, guys. I love the Olympics. I think the opening ceremony is on Friday. So I gotta get the schedule for my favorite things to watch. I generally watch more than I normally would because it's the Olympics. So like the long distance